Hi friends, so exciting to join with you today because this is our 100th story. So we picked one of our favorites. It's called Rodeo Ron and His Milkshake Cows by Rowan Clifford. Rodeo Ron moseyed into the little town of Cavity, riding atop a bright red cow. Following behind, nose to tail, nose to tail, nose to tail, came 3 more cows. At first, the first she was as yellow as a field of sun-ripened corn. The second was as blue as a cloudless sky, and the third was as green as a fresh spring meadow. The town's children came running right up. With every step, they let rip the biggest, fattest, wettest burps that Ron had ever heard. "Hey, mister," they belched, "how come your cows are such funny colors?" "Well," said Ron, "red's red 'cause she eats nothing but strawberries, and blue's blue 'cause she eats nothing but blueberries. And yellow there, she eats nothing but bananas. What about the green one, mister?" "Well, I'll give you a clue," said Ron. "Do you like milk?" "Cow juice? Yuck!" squealed the kids. "No, sir, this town only drinks frothy and fruity sodas. You've got to try one." Inside the soda bar, everybody from little old ladies to teeny tiny babies were burping nonstop. And everybody had dirty brown stumps instead of bright white smiles. 2 brothers, Frothy and Fruity, stood behind the bar, identical except that one's mustache pointed up and the other's pointed down. "What's your poison, mister?" they growled. "Orange!" shouted the kids. "Orange it is," said Rodeo Ron. Into a shaker, Frothy poured orange syrup, a shovel of sugar, and another of bicarbonate of soda, extra fizzy. On went the lid, and Frothy began to shake and belch so loudly that Ron had to hold onto his hat. Frothy slid the soda down the bar. Rodeo Ron took a big, long gulp, and before he could stop himself, burp! He let out the biggest burp of his life. "Hot diggity dang!" he cried. "No wonder there's not a white tooth in town. This is so sweet." "Hey, nobody criticizes our sodas, mister," belched Fruity. "Yeah, unless you can do better," belched Frothy. "I reckon I can," said Ron. "Then I reckon you got yourself a shake-off, mister." As soon as they heard the word shake-off, the townsfolk charged outside. The sheriff pushed his way to the front and called out the rules. "There are 4 flavors. You shake and the kids judge." A ripple of excited burps rose from the crowd. Frothy and Fruity got all their chemicals and carbonates, sugars and syrups. Rodeo Ron pulled on his grippiest rodeo glove. "Strawberry!" shouted the sheriff. Frothy and Fruity sprang into action. They poured their syrups and sugars. They shook and rattled and burped with excitement. Meantime, Rodeo Ron leaped aside red and just sat there. "Boring," said the kids. But then, with a huge leap, Ron shot into the air. She bucked, she brounced, she shivered, she shook, and she went shake, shake, shake. Down leaped Ron and milked the frothiest, fruitiest, strawberriest milkshake anybody had ever tasted. The judges called out, 1-0 to Rodeo Ron. Frothy and Fruity fizzled with rage. "Banana!" hollered the sheriff. The brothers shook harder than they'd ever shaken before, and the harder they shook, the louder they burped. Meantime, Rodeo Ron jumped astride Yellow and just sat there. "Boring," said the kids. Suddenly, with a huge leap, Yellow shot into the air. She bucked, she brounced, she shivered, and she shook, and she went shake, shake, shake. Down leaped Ron and milked the frothiest, fruitiest, banana-nuriest milkshake anybody had ever tasted. The judges called out, 2-0 to Rodeo Ron. The brothers shook with rage. Just as soon as the sheriff hollered, "Blueberry!" the brothers were off, shaking like they'd never shaken before, burping like they'd never burped before. All the while, Ron sat quietly astride Blue. "Boring," said the kids. Suddenly, with a huge leap, blue shot into the air. She bucked, she brunched, she shivered, and she shook, and she went shake, shake, shake. Down leaped Ron and milked the frothiest, fruitiest, blueberriest milkshake anybody had ever tasted. The judges called out, 3-0 to Rodeo Ron. What? Screamed the brothers. Ain't nobody makes a drink as frothy and fruity as ours. And before the sheriff could even call out the last flavor, Fruity leaped onto Frothy's back like he was one of Rodeo Ron's cows. Well, they bucked and bronked and shivered and shook and went burp, burp, burp. Louder and louder and louder, and bang! All that was left of Frothy and Fruity was their mustaches, one pointing up and the other pointing down. Holy coyote, cried Rodeo Ron. I guess that was just one burp too many. No sooner had the dust settled than one of the kids piped up. What about the green cow, mister? What flavor's she? Mint? Lime? Kiwi? To the townsfolk's surprise, Rodeo Ron didn't jump onto her back. He just set to, and into a glass he milked the frothiest, creamiest, whitest milk you ever did see. Sip by sip, the whole town of Cavity tasted it. Why, this is the finest drink ever, they said. And it was, too, and the days went by, a change came over Cavity. Little by little, tooth by tooth, the townsfolk got back their bright, white smiles. And what's more, nobody ever burped again. Well, maybe once or twice, but they always said pardon. Thanks for joining me for our 100th book together. I'll see you again online soon, friends.